And related news now, Facebook isn't the only place where Jews face challenges. The Jewish community of New York is now accusing the state government of singling them out for repeated and targeted restrictions amidst the coronavirus pandemic. Founder and executive director of the Lawfare Project, Brooke Goldstein, is joining us now with more. Brooke, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. All right, now, first off, before we get to the nitty-gritty, what do you make of Facebook's new guidelines for dealing with hate speech and Holocaust denial?
Well, I think that Facebook has been restricting speech for quite some time. So it's only natural that the Jewish community would expect Facebook apply its standards in a way that silences the type of hate speech that targets the Jewish community while they're doing the same for other communities. So on the one hand, I think it's a welcome development. On the other hand, though, I think a lot of people have been talking and are very concerned with the fact that these private companies are engaged in speech regulation. And there's a big debate, frankly, in the United States what the role of these companies are. But if the bottom line is that they're going to restrict a certain kind of speech against one minority community, they have to do so against other minority communities as well.
All right, well, now I want to get on to our main topic. You are accusing currently, the Lawfare Project is accusing New York Governor Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio of repeated double standards against the Jewish community. Where is this coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's just the Lawfare Project doing the accusation. I think that many, many people in the Jewish community are now speaking out against what we see as a discriminatory practice of disparate enforcement of COVID regulations. And you can see it in the statements that are being made by government officials. When government officials say things like, my message to the Jewish community is that the time for warnings has passed, which is what de Blasio said this past April. When Governor Cuomo says, I have to say to the Orthodox community, if you're not willing to live with these rules, then I'm going to close the synagogues. This is the intentional targeting of the Jewish community by name when no other minority community is being targeted as such. The rates of COVID are extraordinarily high in many minority communities. If you look at the Black community, for example, it's 2.6% higher, or sorry, 2.6 times higher. If you look at the Hispanic community, it's 2.8 times higher. Yet all of these minority communities are seen as victims, as they should be. Only the Jewish community is targeted as a super spreader, and that is systemic racism, and it is illegal.
So what is the Lawfare Project planning to do? I understand you have a rally planned for Thursday?
So there's a new grassroots movement called End Jew Hatred, of which the Lawfare Project is just a small part and which I personally support. It is a coalition of grassroots organizers as well as Jewish organizations that are planning a rally this Thursday to protest against the discriminatory and arbitrary application of COVID regulations to the Jewish community. I think it's incredibly important that the Jewish community is unified and that we stand up against this type of targeting. Just yesterday, for example, while the government was targeting and closing down synagogues, they simultaneously posted a public document encouraging people to go out on the street and safely protest. Police have also gone around to other communities and not arrested them, but handed out masks. If you go downtown New York tonight, you will see hundreds of people gathering outside, not social distancing, not using masks. For example, in this past August, the Muslim community had a huge gathering. They were not called out by name. Only the Jewish community is being targeted, and this is systemic racism, and it must be fought against.
All right, Brooke Goldstein, thank you so much.